I stood there in the lobby of the First Western Bank in Tucson, Arizona, my hands shaking as I clutched that ancient piece of plastic. It looked like something dug up from a time capsule. The numbers faded to ghosts and a deep scratch marring the magnetic strip. Humiliation burned in my chest just holding it. "I'm really sorry to trouble you with this relic," I muttered to the teller. A middle-aged woman with a name tag reading MS. Harper. She had that weathered kindness you see in folks who've spent years under the desert sun. It was my dad's. He gave it to me ages ago. Just checking if there's anything left on it, maybe enough for a tank of gas. MS. Harper smiled warmly, her eyes crinkling behind her bifocals. "No worries at all.
Hun.
Let's take a peek." She took the card, inspected it like an archaeologist handling a fragile artifact, and swiped it through her reader. I braced myself for the inevitable. "Sorry.
Mom.
It's expired. Or the account's long gone." But her face transformed. The color leached out, her eyes bulging like she'd seen a ghost rising from the sands. She glanced at the screen, then at me, then back again. "Ma'am," she stammered, her voice cracking like dry earth. "I need you to step around here right now. Please." My stomach plummeted.
What?
"Is there a problem?" But she was already lifting the gate, her hands trembling. Heads turned, a cowboy-hatted rancher mid-deposit, a young mom with a stroller. Whispers rippled like wind through cacti. Security guards materialized, their boots thudding on the tile. Panic clawed at my throat. What had I done? Was this card hot? Had my dad been mixed up in something shady? Or worse, was this another twist of the knife from my ex? "Tom?" They ushered me into a back office, the door clicking shut like a jail cell. MS.
Harper sætter her disk.
Typing furiously, her face a mask of disbelief, laced with awe.
Mom, Emily. Right?
"I need to verify who you are." "Driver's license, please." My fingers fumbled in my wallet, spilling receipts. I handed it over, answering her barrage of questions. Mom's maiden name, birth date, Dad's full name, birthplace in Flagstaff. All the while, my mind screamed, "Why me?
Why now?"
But to understand that moment, you have to know the hell I'd crawled through just days before. 3 days earlier, I'd been standing on the cracked driveway of what used to be my home in Phoenix's suburbs, a cozy ranch-style house with a cactus garden I'd nurtured through scorching summers. 12 years I'd poured into that place, believing Tom and I were building something real. But there he was, arms folded on the porch. With her, Sarah, his colleague from the real estate firm, the one who'd laughed at my barbecues while stealing my life. She was already rearranging the patio furniture I'd picked out at the flea market. "Emily, you gotta go," Tom said, his voice flat as the desert floor. The lawyers spelled it out. "House is mine. Trucks are mine. Accounts are mine. You signed the prenup. It's over. But where am I supposed to live?" I pleaded, hating the desperation in my tone. "Tom, 12 years, I quit my teaching job to support your deals. Hosted those endless client dinners. He cut me off. And I gave you a good ride. Call it even." Sarah sidled up, her arms snaking around him. Pity faker than fool's gold. "It's for the best."
Eminencia.
People drift apart in these wide-open spaces. Rage boiled inside me, but exhaustion won. Months of arguments, court papers, his lies, they drained me dry. I grabbed my duffel bag, the sum of my life, and drove off into the sunset. $40 in my pocket. I ended up at a dingy motel off Route 66, the kind where truckers crash and you ignore the dubious stains. The AC wheezed like a dying coyote, and neighbors' fights echoed through paper-thin walls. That second night, insomnia hit hard. My brain looped. How do I survive?
No job. No savings.
No family. My sister Lisa and I hadn't spoken in years, not since she'd trashed Dad as a loser drifter, and I'd cut her off. Rummaging through my bag for anything sellable, I found an old envelope in a jacket pocket, yellowed like aged parchment. For my Emily, in Dad's scrawled hand. When the trail gets rough. Tears stung. Dad, John Riley, had died 17 years back when I was 19. He'd been a handyman in Sedona, fixing leaky roofs and busted fences for folks in trailer parks. Never had 2 dimes to rub together. Always in faded flannels. Hitchhiking because gas was extravagant. His funeral was bare bones. We'd scraped by on nothing. Inside the envelope, the bank card and a note. Emily, keep this close. For when you need it most.
Love.
Dad. I'd forgotten it entirely, given to me weeks before his heart gave out. Tucked away through college. Meeting Tom. Our shotgun wedding in Vegas.
Now.
It might hold $50. Enough for motel nights and ramen while I job hunted. Next morning, I headed to the bank in Tucson. A sturdy adobe building echoing the Southwest spirit. I felt like an intruder in my threadbare jeans. But hunger gnawed, crackers, and jerky for days. I queued behind suited developers and tourists, clutching the card like a lifeline. And then, everything shattered. Back in the office. MS. Harper's eyes met mine. A mix of pity and wonder. Emily, did your dad ever talk money with you? Money, I echoed, bewildered. He was a fix-it guy, patching trailers in the heat. What finances? She removed her glasses, rubbing her temples. I've been here 30 years. Seen wild things.
But this. Look.
She swiveled the screen. Numbers danced, account details, history, and the balance hit like a sandstorm. $47 million. My world spun. That's impossible. A glitch. No glitch, she said softly. Verified 4 times. The guards shifted, ready if I keeled over. I gulped water. Laughter bubbling hysterically. We scraped by on beans and rice. He taped his boots together. Your dad was shrewd, she explained. Pulling records. 25 years ago. He inherited scrubland from an uncle, barren desert nobody wanted. I leaned in, inner turmoil raging. Why hide this? Why let us suffer? A developer bought it for a resort boom, she continued. But he negotiated 5% of future profits instead of a lump sum. And, I whispered, dread and hope warring inside. They built Sunset Valley resorts, casinos, hotels,
Golf course.
transformed the area. Everyone knew it, the glitzy oasis drawing tourists from Vegas to LA. Profits poured in for 20 years. Into a trust for you, at 18. But I'm 35. Why no notice? Letters went to his old address. You were off at community college. Then bouncing rentals. The pieces clicked. But anger surged. He knew we struggled. Yet hoarded this? For what? He never touched a cent. MS. Harper said. Said it irrevocable. Yours alone.
No spouses. No creditors. Spouse. Tom.
My ex can't claim it? Not a dime. Arizona law protects inheritance trusts like Fort Knox. Then the bomb. 3 months back. Someone inquired using your info, not you. We flagged it. Right before Tom filed. He'd hired a PI. Sniffing for assets. Betrayal knifed deeper. He knew, or suspected, rushing the divorce to break me. Get a lawyer, MS. Harper urged, handing a card. Folks get crazy over money like this. I left via back door. Mind a whirlwind. Dad's sacrifice. Tom's greed.
Why?
Dad, why live poor when you could have eased our pain? But beneath the hurt, a spark, freedom. Real. Hard-won freedom. The days after that bank revelation blurred into a fever dream, each moment heavier with the weight of what I'd uncovered. I holed up in a mid-range hotel in Scottsdale, the kind with clean sheets and a pool. But even that felt surreal, like playing pretend in someone else's life. $47 million. The number echoed in my skull, mocking me. How could I wrap my head around it when just weeks ago I'd been counting pennies for gas? Inner voices clashed, gratitude for Dad's gift, fury at his secrecy, terror of what came next. Mr. Patterson, the estate lawyer MS. Harper recommended, met me in the hotel lobby. He was a sharp-dressed Texan transplant with a no-nonsense drawl, the type who'd wrangle wills like cattle. Emily, this trust is airtight, he said over coffee, spreading papers like a map to buried treasure. Your dad consulted pros, probably scraped for the fees. It's protected under Arizona's Uniform Trust Code. No marital property claims. Relief washed over me. But doubt gnawed. Why structure it so? Did he foresee Tom's betrayal? Or was it just paranoia from his hard-knock life? As we dove deeper, the story unfolded like a Western epic. Dad's uncle had left him that arid plot near Lake Havasu, worthless back then, all sagebrush and scorpions. Developers eyed it for expansion during the 90s boom, turning desert into gold with resorts and condos. Dad's 5%? It snowballed with interest. Untouched. He could have cashed in early, Mr. Patterson noted. Lived easy. But he locked it for you. Tears pricked. Easy? We shared a trailer that baked in summer. Frozen winter. He skipped meals so I could have school supplies. Was this love or cruelty? The conflict tore at me, admiration for his foresight, resentment for the hidden burden. Words spread like wildfire in a dry canyon. First, the media sniffed it out, local news crews ambushing me at the hotel. Heir to desert fortune, headlines screamed. Strangers gawked. Old acquaintances texted saccharine congrats, laced with envy. Then Lisa called. My sister. Estranged for 8 years. Her voice oily sweet. Family sticks together. Right? Dad would have wanted us to share. Share? She'd mocked him as a bum at his funeral. Grabbed what little he left.
And vanished. Now she wanted in.
Betrayal stacked on betrayal. Tom's greed mirrored in her demands. We're blood, she pressed. Don't be selfish. Selfish? I'd been the one changing Dad's bedpans in his last days while she partied in Vegas. I hung up, heart pounding. Inside, storms raged. Forgive her? Cut her off forever? Mr. Patterson advised. Block her. We'll handle any claims. Trust excludes siblings unless specified. But the emotional toll mounted. Nights, I'd pace the room, whispering to Dad's ghost. Why didn't you tell me? Did you think I couldn't handle it? Or were you shielding me from vultures like her? The money felt tainted, a curse disguised as blessing. Tom surfaced next, his call lighting up my phone like a venomous snake. Emily, we need to talk. His tone, once commanding, now wheedled. Heard about your windfall. Congrats. Congrats? After stripping me bare? What do you want? I snapped, voice steel despite the tremor. Look, the divorce was hasty. Maybe we revisit the settlement. Fair's fair. Fair? He'd hidden assets, lowballed appraisals, left me homeless. Now he sniffed opportunity. Rage boiled. How dare he? But deeper. Hurt whispered. Did any of our years mean nothing, mister? Patterson dug into Tom's dealings. He's leveraged to the hilt, real estate flips in Phoenix. But shady. Reports revealed fraud, overvaluing properties for loans, skimping on inspections, selling flood-prone lots without disclosure. One family bought a home with hidden termite damage, another, a condo on unstable soil post-monsoon. This ain't just divorce dirt, Patterson said. It's criminal, violates Arizona's real estate fraud statutes. My mind reeled. Tom's ambition had crossed lines, endangering lives. Part of me wanted to bury him by his debts. Foreclose. Watch him beg. Revenge tempted like cool water in the heat. He'd humiliated me. Now I could crush him. But Dad's lessons haunted. He'd fixed neighbors' ACs for free. Shared his last sandwich with strays. Kindness costs nothing but pays dividends, he'd say. Was I becoming like Tom? Letting money corrupt? Conflict intensified. Destroy him and lose my soul. Or let justice run its course. I chose the latter. Anonymously tipping the Arizona Attorney General's office with evidence. No personal vendetta, just protecting innocence, like Dad would've. The raid hit the news. Tom's office stormed. Him and Sarah cuffed for questioning. I watched from my room. Heart a battlefield. Satisfaction flickered. But pity crept in. He'd built an empire on sand, now crumbling. He called again. Desperate.
Ing.
You did this. Bitter much.
No. Y replía calmly.
Though turmoil churned. I reported facts. The law decides. Please, help me fight it. For old times. Old times? Picnics in the canyons. Dreams of kids?
Gone.
Poisoned by greed. Goodbye, Tom. Hanging up. Closure edged in. But doubts lingered. Was mercy weakness? With Patterson's team, I formed the Desert Dawn Foundation, aid for women post-divorce, offering shelters in Tucson, job training in solar tech booming out west, legal aid against predatory exes. First client, a mom from Yuma, left penniless after her rancher hubby ran off, helping her file for support under Arizona's community property laws. Seeing her stand tall, it soothed my wounds. But internally, questions persisted. Am I worthy of this fortune? Or just lucky? Lisa escalated, hiring lawyers to contest the trust. Undue influence, they claimed, baseless. But the fight drained me. Court dates loomed, her accusations echoing Dad's failure jabs. Why couldn't she see his wisdom? Grief resurfaced. Dad's deathbed. His raspy be strong.
Eminencia.
Had he known she'd turn viper? The emotional load grew heavier. Each day a deeper dive into self-doubt and resolve. As weeks turned to months, the emotional quagmire deepened, pulling me under like quicksand in the Sonoran desert. The foundation's work became my anchor. 30 women helped already. Their stories mirrors of mine, abandoned after years of sacrifice, fighting for scraps under Arizona's equitable distribution laws. 1. Maria from Nogales shared how her ex hid ranch profits in shell companies. We connected her to forensic accountants, securing her half. Watching her reclaim dignity ignited purpose. But inside, turmoil raged fiercer. Was this atonement for my blindness to Tom's flaws? Or genuine calling? Tom's desperation peaked. He showed up at the hotel unannounced, looking haggard, once slick hair unkempt, designer boots scuffed.
Ing.
Please, he begged in the lobby, eyes darting like a cornered coyote. The investigation's ruining me. Investors bailing. Banks foreclosing. His vulnerability cracked my armor. Memories flooded. Our first date hiking Camelback Mountain. Vows under starry skies. Did that love evaporate? Or mutate into this greed? What do you expect? I asked, voice steady despite the storm within. You built on lies. I'm sorry, he choked. I got lost in the deals. Help me. For us. Us. The word stabbed. There was no us when he evicted me. Sarah smirking. Yet pity swirled. Was he redeemable? Or forever poisoned? Meet me tomorrow, I conceded, against Patterson's advice. One coffee. Then done. At a roadside diner off I-10. He looked broken over black coffee. I messed up bad. But 12 years. That counts. Counts? I tallied internally. My sacrifice career. His affairs. The prenup I'd signed in blind trust. Anger clashed with sorrow. Why couldn't he have been the man I thought? No help. Tom. I said finally. The decision ripping me. Face your consequences. His face crumpled. You'll regret this. I'll sue for spousal support, claim you hid assets. Empty threats. The trust predated marriage. Ironclad under state law. Walking away. Liberation battled guilt. Had I become cold? Dad's voice echoed. Mercy ain't weakness. It's strength. But mercy for fraudsters? The conflict intensified. Emotions raw. Lisa's lawsuit hit court. In the Maricopa County courtroom. Her lawyer painted Dad as manipulated. Me as greedy. MS. Riley seeks fair share as bloodkin. Fair? She'd abandoned us when Dad's health failed. Chasing casino dreams. On the stand, I testified calmly. But inside, betrayal burned. Why hate me for Dad's choice? The judge dismissed. Trust unambiguous. Lisa's glare as she left. You'll burn for this. Her words haunted nights. Was family irreparable? Grief for lost bonds deep in the ache. Expanding the foundation. We bought a ranch in Prescott for transitional housing, women learning skills like sustainable farming, fitting the West's self-reliant spirit. One resident, a former teacher like me, shared her inner battles. I hate him, but miss who he was. Her words mirrored mine, amplifying my turmoil. How to forgive without forgetting. Patterson uncovered more on Tom. He'd bribed inspectors, violating building codes, homes at risk in earthquake zones. This could kill people, he warned. Submitting evidence anonymously wasn't revenge, it was duty. But doubts whispered. Am I playing God? The raid aftermath played out on TV. Tom charged with fraud. Sarah flipping on him for immunity. He called from jail. Voice shattered. Bail me out. I can't do this. The plea tore me. Part of me yearned to save the ghost of our past. But reality hit. He'd endangered families for profit. No, y whisperat. Hanging up. Tears came then. Floods of conflicted sorrow. For lost love. For his downfall. For my hardened heart. Emotions swelled. Heavier than before. Regret. Resolve. Raw humanity. I visited Dad's grave in a quiet Flagstaff cemetery. Under ponderosa pines. Kneeling on the dry earth. I poured out. Why the secrecy? Dad, we could have shared burdens. Wind whispered through branches, as if answering. Internally, revelations dawned. His poverty taught resilience. The money.
Choice.
You gave me tools to build. Not crutches. Gratitude edged out anger. But the emotional depth plunged further. Love intertwined with loss. 6 months in, the emotional torrent reached flood levels, drowning me in waves of introspection and revelation. The foundation thrived, 50 women empowered. Partnerships with local tribes for cultural sensitive aid, aligning with Western values of community. But each success unearthed deeper conflicts. Was I using money to buy absolution for my naive marriage? Or truly honoring Dad? A client from Albuquerque confessed her vengeful urges. I want to ruin him. Her mirror forced confrontation. My own suppressed rage at Tom simmered, threatening to erupt. Tom's trial loomed. Headlines blaring, real estate tycoon faces ruin. He pleaded via lawyer, drop anonymous tips, testify for leniency. The request ignited fire. How dare he seek mercy after none for me? Yet compassion flickered, imagining him caged, stripped of freedom. Everyone deserves a shot at redemption, Dad preached. But where's the line? The inner war peaked. Vengeance versus virtue. My soul's battlefield bloodier. Lisa resurfaced, not with lawsuits but tears at my apartment door. Uninvited. I'm broke. Casinos took everything. Her vulnerability cracked defenses, childhood flashes, sharing bunk beds in Dad's trailer. Giggling over stars. Why fight me? I asked. Voice breaking. Jealousy, she admitted. Dad always favored you. Favored? I'd shouldered his care while she fled. Forgiveness tempted. But trust shattered. Give in. Or protect. I offered foundation help, not cash, but job training. She accepted grudgingly. But the encounter amplified anguish. Family wounds cut deepest. Patterson presented options. Buy Tom's firm remnants cheap. Rebrand ethically. Temptation surged. Turn his empire into good. But was it hubris? Dad's humility echoed. Don't chase shadows. Build your light. I declined. Emotions churning. Regret for what could have been. Pride and restraint. Tom's sentencing. 5 years probation. Fines crippling him. Sarah got off light. Vanishing east. He emailed. You won. Happy.
No triumph.
Just hollow ache. His fall reflected my rise. But at what cost?
Nights.
I'd curl up, questioning. Am I better? Or just luckier? The Foundation's gala, honoring graduates, brought catharsis. A woman toasted. Emily gave me wings. Tears flowed. Emotions overwhelming. Purpose trumped pain. Visiting Dad's grave again. Under monsoon skies. I unloaded. Your gift hurts as much as helps. Thunder rumbled, mirroring my storm. But it's teaching me, wealth's a tool, not savior. Deeper peace settled. But the rawness intensified, love's scars eternal. A year on, emotions crested to shattering heights, a crescendo of heart-wrenching clarity. The Foundation expanded to Nevada and New Mexico. Hundreds aided, women starting businesses in green energy, fitting the West's innovative grit. But triumphs unearthed profound vulnerabilities, imposter syndrome gripped. Did I deserve this? Survivor's guilt for Dad's sacrifices weighed like boulders. Tom's rock bottom. Bankrupt. Working at a used car lot in Mesa. A chance encounter at a gas station. He looked gaunt. Eyes haunted. He murmured. I get it now. Lost everything chasing more. His remorse pierced. Echoes of our young love. Now ashes. Learn from it, I said. Voice thick. No hate left. Just profound sadness for wasted years. Shattered dreams. Internally, floods raged. Forgiveness heals. But scars remain. Lisa integrated into the Foundation, mentoring others. Our reconciliation tentative. Built on shared grief. Dad wanted unity, she said over coffee. Tears bonded us. Emotions rawer than ever. Regret for lost time. Hope for mending. I established the John Riley Scholarship for kids of blue-collar Westerners, funding trades or college. Awarding the first, To a girl whose dad fixed rigs in oil fields. I choked. Honor your roots. Her hug unleashed torrents, joy mingled with sorrow for Dad's unseen legacy. At his grave, under golden sunset, I whispered, "Your poverty was poetry," teaching that true riches lie in impact. Emotions peaked, overwhelming gratitude, eternal love. The lesson: wealth amplifies character. Choose kindness. Free at last. Not from money, but through it, building bridges where walls once stood.